Hi everyone. Hello everyone. Good evening. Can everyone hear me, please? Hi everyone. Can anyone hear me? Please, if you can hear me, signify. Okay. So am I audible enough? Am I breaking? Okay. It seems everyone can hear me. Can you also see my screen? Just to be sure before we start. Can you also see my screen? Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. It seems there's like a lag in transmission. So, good day, everyone. Welcome to today's office hours. And as usual, we will be talking about all things Python. I hope you all had a great day. I sure did. A bit stressful though. So, I think we will just continue from where we stopped yesterday. If you have any question you'd like to ask, you can feel free to drop them in the chat section and we would, or I would get back to it. So starting from tomorrow, we'll probably will be taking another approach. So it seems like there is always a question to be asked, but during the time for class one, like we have just few questions. So what I'll be doing is I'll be sending out a form in the channel. So I'll be sending out the form in the channel. And if you have any question or any error, you can put it inside the form. And during the class, I will be taking the questions from the form, not from the live, not from the chat section. So is that okay by everyone? Um, okay. So I'll be showing my Visual Studio Code now. And then we can start. Okay, so can everyone see my screen? Um my Visual Studio Code, my VS Code. I hope you can see it. So I was explaining args and kwargs yesterday before the break in transmission. Sorry about that. So I will just get on to explaining this, and then we will continue I will continue taking the questions from the chat. So someone asked, what is nested function? The nested function is just a function inside another function. So like nested if statements or nested loops, functions can be nested too. So we can have functions inside of another function. So is that understood? Okay, I should increase the size. So, okay, I can't see any. Please, I constantly have to check if my network is still going. So if I break or anything, you can just signify in the chat, since I'm live streaming and I am also sharing my screen. So yeah, I was explaining args and kwargs. So let's just go over it again. So we'll start from args. So yesterday I said args are a way to have multiple values in our function whenever we call it, without having to explicitly define them anytime we are defining our function. So the args is a non-defined argument. Non-defined arguments. So yesterday I used a function. I had like an add function that takes in two parameters. Yeah, so the function takes in x and y yesterday. So I'm doing a rerun of what we did yesterday. So x and y, and we added both x and y. So let's say results equals x plus y, then print results. Yeah. So now 5,7. So this would give us 12. An invalid Python interpreter is, sorry, I have to close my VS Code and open it again. So I hope you all can see my VS Code now. Oh, the text is small. Okay, for some reasons it's not zooming in. So someone said, I attempted the task for week 2 question. Week 2 question 1, after running it on Python, the software identified line 11 as an error in the code, which was else. How can we go about it? Okay, so my attention was drawn to one of the questions, and I think it was even week 1's task. And the question had like someone copied and pasted it into the Python terminal and the Python editor rather, and it was throwing an error. So the error is probably from the fact that um, it is being copied from a text editor to things like quotation marks might look like apostrophe or something like that. So when you copy it directly from your doc file or from the Zuri website into your code editor or your text editor, it might flag an error. But it's because of probably things like the quotation marks, like I said, turning into an apostrophe, or maybe at the process of copying the code, someone added a comma or something like that. So it's left for you. That's why most of the code there, or all of it rather, I don't think I specified a question where there is a syntax error. So you should probably fix the error if you have to copy and paste it into your text editor. I don't know if you understand. So that's it. Now let's continue. Okay, so for some reasons my VS Code is not zooming in. Let me see if I can try to zoom in from. Zoom in. It's okay. So now so I hope everyone can see my screen. So we'll just quickly go through this. So this is supposed to print 12 to the screen. So let's do this. So we get so we get 12. Awesome. Now, supposing we want to add like this. Yeah. One way we can do this is specify them in our function anytime we want to define. So, like I said yesterday, A, B, C, D, E, F, like this. But you see, this is actually very ineffective because you won't always be in a position to know how many parameters are being passed to your function. So most times what you want to do is set a non-defined argument where um, a user can pass in so many parameters. It is there for you to handle how many parameters it is and how it is being executed in your function. So Python has a way of doing this. So let's say we want to add all these numbers, or we want to add all the numbers we get in our function, yeah, when it is being defined. So let's pass in args, then so args is read only. You should not change the value of args. You cannot even change it. So what we want to do now is we want to write a code to add all these numbers. So let's just do. Now, you probably know sum is a function that adds numbers in Python, but we are not going to do that. Write a for loop to add all the numbers. So let's say sum equals 0, sum of numbers equals 0 for number in args. Now let's print what number is first. So number is like the list of all the numbers we have or that was passed into our function. So let's add all the numbers. So sum of numbers plus or equal to number. So we get 42. Now, this way, even when we add more numbers to our function, we don't need to keep changing our function every time. It will just automatically do that for us. So that is one way we can use the args, non-defined arguments. So it's a way to specify multiple arguments in our function anytime we define them, such that we do not explicitly say it in our function declaration. So I hope this is explanatory. I hope you understand now. So now let's talk about the other one, which is kwargs. So what is the difference between this and this? So this is a keyword argument, meaning when we pass in something like this in our function. So let me say cats equals, okay, no, animal equals cats, vehicle equal your bike, and fruits equals apple. Thank you. So when we have something like this, yeah, so let me just take this out. Now, when we have something like this, we can print out, let's print out the values of kwargs to see what is this. So kwargs is a dictionary. So yesterday I mentioned that we have so many sequences in Python, a list, a tuple, and also a dictionary too is a sequence. So a dictionary is a data type that stores values in key value pair. It stores items in key value pair. So a key is, okay, someone said, why is the add function after print? Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Why is the add function after print? Oh, okay. I am calling the function here. I am calling the function here. I am not defining it. So the difference between this line 8 and line 1 is line 1, you are defining a function, and line 8, you are calling it. So you define a word. Yeah. So once you are not specifying this def keyword, Python knows that you are calling that function if it exists already. But if you do not define a function and you are calling it, you probably get function does variable function does not exist, something like that. So you define the difference between this and this is I am defining it. Now, this syntax might look weird because it is when we are defining functions that we mostly say things like this. But that is why I am explaining what I want to do here. So let's just print the value of kwargs to see the difference. So as you can see in my console, it's a dictionary. It's a dictionary. So it is not a tuple or a list. So a dictionary, as I was explaining, is a data type that stores items in key value pairs. So this is a key, animal is a key, and the value cat here, or the item cat here is a value. So this is a key and this is a value. So we mostly use dictionaries when we want to store key value pairs. So you can think of a dictionary as a way to store multiple variables that you can use later. And in Python, to get the value of a key, let me just use the console to demonstrate that. So I have Python. So let's call it dictionary equals animal cats vehicle car. So now if I want to get the value of animal here, what I just do is dictionary of animal and I get cat. Now, if you are writing another programming language or you're used to another program, probably JavaScript or Java or whatever, you know that you probably can do dictionary dot animal and you get the value of that key. But in Python, you cannot do that. In Python, you use this subscript here to get the value of a key. So you can go through, you can what's it called? You can go read up on dictionary later on. You can know. I think there's a resources on that, or there's a resource on that rather, in the YouTube channel. I think I even added it alongside our resources for last week. So that's just like a quick glance through of what a dictionary is. So now I want to print out all the values in our function here. So in our kwargs dictionary, so for let's call it for keys in kwargs print so as you can see in our console, this was printed out. So this is a way to use the defined keywords or keyword arguments in Python functions. Now, as you go further, as we learn further, you see the usefulness or how we can use this in like functions we build, in bigger functions we build, in classes we build. You see that they are mostly using the methods and what the functions we build as we build bigger applications. Well, this is like the very basic idea of how args and kwargs are being used. So you would be seeing a lot of these in Python. So I hope this is understood. I hope you understand. So someone asked me to talk about decorators. Decorators. So what is a decorator? Okay, before I go into decorators, is there anyone that would like to ask a question? So I'll just take one or two questions before we. Hello. Can anyone hear me? Yes, yes. DF define and represents define. It's just a way to define functions. So you use df when you want to define a function in Python. So that is how you use this to define a function in Python. So it's a reserved keyword. You can't have df as a variable. So I can save something like def equals 1 6 or something. It is wrong. You shouldn't do this. So reserved keywords cannot be used as variables. Okay. So kwargs means keyword arguments. It means keyword arguments. So args is non-keyword arguments and kwargs is keyword arguments. So they can be, you can specify args using this. It's by convention, we call it args, but it can actually be anything. It can actually be anything, but by convention and kwargs. So how Python knows that this is a keyword argument or this is a non-keyword argument is because of this asterisk and this double asterisk in front of it. So so we can, hello? And everyone, someone said difference between print and return. Is my network breaking? Is my network still breaking? I would really be sad if I would really be sad if my network disappears because I have literally tried everything for this net. Please tell me if my network is breaking so I can X me out or something. So someone asked what is the difference between print and return? And that is actually a very awesome question. I like that question. So in functions, yeah, the very idea of a function is to make our code reusable. The very idea of a function is to make, oh, it's breaking. Wow. Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, so probably just give me like a minute or two to see if I can fix. So just in case I log off or I go off, please still stick around. But I doubt I would be going off. I'm still trying to fix my internet now. So am I audible now? Am I still breaking? Is it better now? Okay, so someone said it's okay. So I think that warms my heart. Okay, okay, someone said it's okay. Thank you very much. So now we can continue. So Now, the very idea of a function is to make our code reusable. We don't want to always have to write again without making it reusable. So once we have a function somewhere, we can always call that function in another line of code, in another block of code. But for a function to be called, it has to return something. Yeah. For a function, every function returns something. So even if you are not specifying a return value for your function returns none. So every function that does not have a return value returns none. So print is just saying you want to see the output of a code in your console. You really don't use print for, and even in production environments, you should not have a print statement or a console.log statement in your code. Print is just to see the value of something in your terminal, in your console. But a return value shows the return value, a return statement rather shows the return value for that function. So I have an adds function here. I just want to have that code where I was adding numbers. Okay, I think this should work. Let's use this. So let's see the value. Let's see the output of this code. So we have, let's just change it to see if it is working well. Okay, yes. So now this function works. So for someone asking the difference between args and kwargs, this is it. So here I have some arguments that are non-defined. Yeah, they are not in any variable or any key of some sorts. They are just there. So we use args to get those arguments. Why kwargs can be used to get keyword arguments, the arguments that are then defined in your function, when you are calling it. So animal equals cat equals apple. All this can be accessed using